That is the end of that for England and for Pakistan. There's always drama when Pakistan are in action. There were a few fireworks towards the end, but then the end was inevitable and they lose this match, their last league game, by a whopping margin. England scored 337. Pakistan in reply never really looked in that chase. 244 all out in 43.3. England register their third win, only their third win, this one by 93 runs. And with this, they have confirmed the qualification for the Champions Trophy 2025. It wasn't to be. They will still take this win, England. Good to end the World Cup on a happy note.
Yeah, they played well today. I thought they controlled the game. Right from that opening partnership between Milan and Bairstow, got the foundation, batted beautifully, played with the aggression that I've seen England play for many, many years. Now, apart from a few weeks of this tournament, with the ball in hand, they were great. Willey gets them off to a start. Pitch was spinning. The spin combination of Rashid and Moeen Ali were excellent. Pakistan were pathetic in that chase, I have to say. I mean, they just had, you lose a couple of wickets, but they had no authority about the way that they went about the business. They had no kind of control in what they're trying to achieve in their, you know, I'll go back to the whiteboard of Afghanistan and Jonathan Trott. They didn't look like they had any plan of how they were going to chase down that target. So disappointing for Pakistan, not surprising. They've had a tournament where it's been a bit chaotic, but really good from England.
We will come to a more detailed look back at what Pakistan did wrong today. But for England, Zach, perfect game with the bat and the ball.
Yeah, I think, there are a few takeaways for sure, which we've been harping upon. Winning the toss and batting first is something which the trick they've missed right throughout the tournament. And towards the end, it kind of proved that, if you approach it in that way, things would have been different. But I think, like I've always been saying, it just they've been just trying to rather than being proactive or, rather than sticking to a theory, they've been trying all sorts of things. And I think, there are too many theories, too much of thinking, all those kind of things eventually settled down, but it was too late for their campaign in this World Cup.
No more theories possible for mathematicians or geeks because the semi-final lineup of this World Cup is ready. That is what it looks like. It's India versus New Zealand in the first semi-final on 15th of November in Mumbai at the iconic Wankhede Stadium. That's where India became champions on the 2nd of April 2011. Zaheer Khan was there. In the second semi-final, we shall see Temba Bavuma, South Africa, versus the most successful side in the history of white ball cricket, Australia it is, in that second semi-final that will be played at the Eden Gardens. Who knows which those two teams shall be? How about I get a spot poll from my experts on that finals lineup? Michael.
Who do you think is going to get? I think it'll be India or Australia.
And?
Australia.
And who wins?
Who wins in the final? India will win the final. If they get to the final, they'll win it. Yeah.
Zach.
Has to be India. Look at the way they've been playing. I think,
India, Australia for you?
India, South Africa, I think, for me.
Interesting. South Africa, I've seen Australia win by a whopping margin today. Mitchell Marsh was in full swing as well. But for now, we shall focus on what Pakistan did today. With the bat especially. There was just no intent. David Willey taking those couple of wickets, he seemed to suck the life out of this batting chase. There was just no intent, Michael.
No, I mean, it's only Salman who got 51 or 45. I like the way that he batted. When you lose two early wickets, it's quite hard because then the likes of Rizwan and Babar Azam had to kind of rebuild. They had to try and play sense, but there's no point in Babar Azam and Rizwan dancing down the track and gifting their wickets away. That'd have been 20 for 4. So I kind of understood that kind of partnership. Babar has had a tournament, and I guess his innings today almost kind of tells you that's his World Cup. He looked good, played nicely, gets to 30 on, and then gifts an easy chance to mid-wicket. I mean, the fact that Haris Rauf has hit more sixes than Babar in this World Cup tells you the kind of World Cup that Babar Azam has had. He'll be under a huge amount of pressure. I spoke a few weeks ago about, I didn't like the fact that there was question marks about his captaincy during the World Cup. I think that's a real disrespectful kind of policy. I didn't like the fact that Inzi had to resign from the chairman of selectors. There was problems with the Pakistan chairman as well. Just chaos with the Pakistan camp. They haven't beaten a good team, one of the top teams in this World Cup, and that'll be where they look at and realise that I can't imagine that Pakistan can't have a group of cricketers that can be really competitive. They've got talent. They've got so many cricketers to choose from. They need to find spinners. If they don't find world-class spinners, they're not going to compete. And I'm pretty sure they'll have some somewhere in Pakistan.
But just wickets falling at regular intervals today, with David Willey taking a couple, then came Adil Rashid, Moeen Ali. Pakistan just, once they knew that that semi-final door is shut, they were just not there, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, if you don't get a start as a batter, you at times say, okay, fine, I didn't get a start, and it's acceptable because that's how the game goes. But once you are in, you got to make it count. And that's something which was missing in Pakistan batting lineup. Babar getting a start, Rizwan getting a start, but not really going on to have those three-figure innings. So that is something which really changes the course of the game. If you're changing 340, then you got to be spot on. If you don't get that start, you are going to slow down because you want to make sure that you don't lose further wickets there. But once you see that phase off, it's about accelerating and getting the team around 30 over mark. You have, say, 150. You're keeping in the game yourself, and then figuring things out. Maybe one innings coming off there. That kind of approach you need. But they're doing the hard work, but the job is half finished, and then the wicket is falling. Has not really helped their cause. They were going for those big shots because they were not able to keep that scoreboard ticking in that middle phase, and that's what the pressure which we often talk about. Then innings never really got going. 4.3, 4.6, 5.6, maybe 6.4 was that only phase between that 31 and 40 overs, but they lost 4 wickets in that phase. So that was game over way before that because just the runs left were too much.
Strike rates for Babar Azam and Rizwan, 84 and 71 respectively. Were they trying to take the game deep because they had Shadab Khan coming in at 8? Is that a justifiable strike rate when you're chasing 344?
Well, they were rebuilding, so you've got to give them a bit of a bit of leeway. I just look at Pakistan. I don't see them batting in partnership. I see them batting for themselves. I see that they're trying to get their own numbers, and within that, you start to play a little bit within yourself to make sure you get your own score, and then you get to 30 or 40 and you make a mistake. I haven't seen Pakistan play as a team in this tournament. I think that Bangladesh is another team that I look at. They don't look like they're collectively fighting for each other. And you look at Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the blueprint for all teams. Afghanistan have talented players. They have really good bowlers in particular. They have talented batters, but they play for each other. They play for the partnership. They play for what their team goals are. They're all defined in their roles within the team. With Pakistan, I kind of watch them and think, I think they're all individuals playing within a team. And it's got to be the other way around. It's got to be the team comes first, and then if you have one or two firecracker individuals within that, fantastic. But they don't collectively play as a group.
There was a moment during this chase when all of us in that Cricbuzz lounge cracked up that Mohammad Rizwan dismissal. So, Michael, go on. Summon all the wit you have at your disposal and describe that moment for all of us.
Well, I liked his style because, Glenn Maxwell's the talk of the town. Everyone wants to bat like Glenn Maxwell. But the problem with Rizwan is he tried to bat like Glenn Maxwell after he was out with the cramp. His cramp needed to come while he was still in. There are always comedy shows, aren't there, when you see a player? I mean, it's sore. It's not a laughing matter, I guess, but when someone dances down to launch one, then you miss it by a mile, and then you flick in the air and you've got the cramp. I don't know if it was carried off or not, but he's doing the right thing in trying to copy Glenn Maxwell's batting and the way that he plays. And if you get a bit of cramp, it adds to you having to bat on one leg. The skill is making sure that you're still in.
Yeah.
To carry on after you get in the cramp. But yeah, I guess it summed up Pakistan's day. It was a bit of comedy.
A half-century partnership with that last wicket between Haris Rauf and Mohammad Wasim. They were having a bit of fun, and an emotional young Pakistan cricket fan might innocently ask you, if those two can, why can't the others?
Well, it was straightforward, simple, isn't it? We've been talking about that. We've been talking about the approach. It's not about losing; it's about how you lose. And when you have Salman batting at number 7, and then after that Shadab batting at number 8, you have packed your batting.
Yep.
So you got to go out there and take those chances or figure out those options which are going to be working in your favor. You can't let the spinners dictate terms there, especially as a subcontinent team. You know how to tackle that. You can put bowlers under pressure. I think that was missing. And that's the point which Michael was also trying to say, that it's a group of individuals. So when you lost 2 wickets, you don't have a chance of qualifying. You know that things are out of hand. So you just basically bat and score your runs. Maybe that was the thinking there, but the game and the situation dictates how things are going to unfold. You, in the process, let the bowlers be on top of you, and then it's going to be only tougher for you, and that's what we've seen. Then you lose wickets and keep on losing wickets because of the pressure building.
Yes, we saw some fireworks towards the end for that 10-wicket partnership, but it wasn't really going to take the game away from England. A 93-run win. And this bowling card will tell you that it's Diwali. No one goes empty-handed from India. When it's Diwali, everyone got a gift or 2 or 3. 3 for Willey, past the 100 wickets mark. Just the one for Vokes. 2 each for Adil Rashid, Angus Atkinson and Moeen Ali. England will be very happy with what the bowlers have done today.
Yeah, I thought they all bowled well. I think it's great for David Willey. It's his last game and he's ended up with 100 wickets. So that's a nice milestone for him. I thought Gus Atkinson was very, very good. He bowled quickly. He's got good skills, good variations. I thought Adil Rashid, he went for a few runs, but I thought he bowled beautifully. Some of those googlies that were coming out to the left-handers, and the one that went through the gate was a beautiful delivery. So they had a pitch that was spinning. Moeen Ali bowled nice around the wicket. I don't think England were put under that much pressure.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that hard for the bowlers tonight. I mean, Zach will tell you more about bowling, but I didn't feel that Pakistan were putting them under that much pressure. So all you had to do is kind of land it somewhere near. The pitch was doing the rest. And I think they knew that if they bowled 2 or 3 decent balls, a mistake was going to happen.
Yes, they look professional on the field. England, they knew that the World Cup campaign was over, but they turned up and they looked focused enough. But David Willey with that white new ball, very impressive. Completely, stunned Pakistan with that opening burst.
He's had a decent campaign actually. Not just today's game. Overall, today contributed with the bat as well. That short inning was really good at the end of the innings. With bowling, he has been in that wicket taking form, and today it just showed that confidence. When a bowler is not afraid of pitching the ball up, that means he's got that confidence. Yeah. He's not afraid of the situation. He's not afraid of the batter. It was a perfect first delivery for Shafiq. Pitched up, hitting leg, perfect pitching in line. There was no need of review also. There was a discussion. There was a smart call actually from Fakar. But it was just a perfect start for England's defence.
Pakistan didn't have the will to win, but England had the willy to win. 15 of 5 with the bat and a couple of wickets. Lovely way to say goodbye, and maybe a message as well to the ECB on what to do when they're handing out contracts.
Well, absolutely. I just can't believe they've allowed him to retire with the T20 World Cup coming up in 6 months' time. I've actually seen the Royal Challengers Bangalore. They've tweeted him tonight to say, well done, he's going to be a part of their team in the IPL. I'm sure he'll get a few games with the way that he's playing, but I just can't understand why England wouldn't have wanted him available. I just don't get that. They wouldn't have wanted him on a contract for the next year with that T20 World Cup coming. They'll have the reasons. I'll disagree with them because he's too good a player. With Reece Topley, Sam Curran, 2 left-armers. We know in T20 cricket, white ball cricket, you want left-armers. Yeah. Now, Reece Topley has a record of injuries, unfortunately for him. We hope he's back, but you're just never sure. Sam Curran's not been in great form, so I just don't understand why England would not want someone like David Willey available and around the camp somewhere for the T20 World Cup.
Maybe there will be a rethink on that one. Who knows? Because Rob Key is in India, I've been told. And maybe they will think of all those things. We will do a detailed England look back as well. But it's a beautiful sight. Of course, these days, 300 runs are being scored very easily. It's become a batter's game. But it's a great sight to see spinners tossing it up beautifully. Adil Rashid, Moeen Ali seem to have a good time out there.
So that's what happens when you have 340 to defend, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the pitch is also assisting. A wicket is going to make a huge difference. It's going to be very difficult for the next batter to come in. So it's the calculated risk which you're taking. And that's something your batters give you that platform. So England batters, after scoring that 340 runs, you give that much cushion to the bowlers to be more aggressive. They're more decisive as well. Because of the runs on board, and that's the difference. So Adil Rashid, he's a smart operator. He's been around for a long time, and he's got that control. He loves it. Actually, he's at his best when he is not afraid of flighting the deliveries.
Yep. it was we got a glimpse of what he did in 2019, isn't it? Tossing it up beautifully, that googly to get the right-hander as well, one behind the legs, Moin Ali finding the right angles. It was just lovely to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Zach's absolutely right. When you've got plenty to play with,
Yeah.
it's not that difficult. The pitch is there for you. You've got scoreboard pressure. You're coming onto ball with the rates because they didn't come out the traps, Pakistan, and get off to a fly. They came out the traps and scored at 4 and over. So that rate's going up and up and up. So I think as a spinner, they didn't over-attack. Men on the boundary, flick it in the air. The pitch does the rest. Pakistan are under pressure. It came out of the hand lovely, but I'm not judging them on a night like that. That wasn't pressure for a spin-twin combination. In a game that obviously England wanted to win because they wanted to make sure they were in the Champions Trophy. I don't think that was really under any threat. But up against the Pakistan side, that they looked nowhere, and the pitch was perfect for the spinners.
Pakistan finishing their World Cup campaign at number 5. A bit of a middling tournament really for Pakistan, who came into this World Cup with so much hope and belief, and even without Naseem Shah, they would have believed that they have what it takes to win in conditions that are not alien to them. When you look at this squad, is this squad on potential one that can make it to the semi-finals? When you saw the squad at the start of the World Cup, did you think here's a team that could upset a few big ones?
I thought they'd make the semis, and they should have done. They should have beaten Afghanistan, and they could have beaten South Africa. That would have got them into the semi-finals. But I just, it's Pakistan for years and years. They've got all the talent. They've got lots of talented players. It's just the structure around the team always looks a little bit disjointed. There's always issues. There's always a bit of chaos. Chaos generally brings them a better performance, as we've seen in this World Cup. But they haven't got a world-class spinner. You go back through the generations of Pakistan cricket, they've always had world-class spinners. And this group at the minute do not have a world-class spinner. Until they find a world-class spinner, you look at the teams that are going to be competing, in the semi-finals. I think Santa's a wonderful bowler for New Zealand. Is he mystery? No, but he's really skillful. You go Jadeja and Kuldeep for India. Australia have got Zampa. Maxwell's not world-class, but he's very, very good with his off-spin. And South Africa, they've got Maharaj again, a really high-class spinner. Pakistan don't have that. They don't have a high-class spinner. And these kind of wickets, if you don't have a spinner, it's very, very difficult to compete.
Now, over the last few months, the one thing I've discovered about Zaheer Khan is that apart from being a fast bowling expert, he also is an aficionado of restaurants and great food. When you look at Pakistan, it seems like it's a restaurant or it's a kitchen where they pretty much have all the good ingredients. It's just that the chef hasn't been able to figure a recipe. The ingredients are very much there, or not?
Well, both the teams playing today pretty much that was the case. I would say, they couldn't figure out what to do with the ingredients. But look, the World Cup was being played in subcontinent. So you're hoping that Pakistan and India are going to be those two teams who are going to dominate. They will have a good run. So from that point of view, Pakistan disappointed many because when you're looking at that squad, you know that this team could have been playing the semis. Yes, they had injury issues, they had those problems, but still it boils down to how you get the whole squad going, how you bring that belief in your squad that you're gonna be able to create that momentum and take the team through. World Cup is all about that. It all comes down to 1 or 2 games here, there. Today they were looking at, they had a mathematical chance of qualifying if they beat England. The game against Afghanistan is something, when you talk about Pakistan bowling attack, they could have defended 280 around that kind of a total on that pitch. So individuals not stepping up, and maybe the disjointed nature of the whole squad or the atmosphere in that dressing room didn't really help that. So these are the factors which were going against Pakistan. But when you look at those individuals, I think there's enough potential for them to be playing in the semis.
But if you look at the 4 semi-finalists, India, there's not been any noise away from the team. Yeah. There's not been any disturbance. Australia, don't think there's been any disturbance with them. South Africa, no disturbance. New Zealand, they never have any disturbance. Now, England have had disturbance because they've had issues with the Harry Brooks situation before, the contracts. I guess a story about there was something wrong with the dressing room. I'm not too sure about that. But Pakistan have had issues, Bangladesh have had issues, Sri Lanka have had issues, Afghanistan have had no issues. They've just got on with it and played good cricket. So it tells you when you get to this kind of big tournament, a World Cup, everything has to be right. If you've got issues coming from board level to the team, it's not going to work. You know, if you've got issues in the dressing room, it's going to get exposed. If you've got selectorial issues, it will be exposed. That's why the World Cup's the World Cup, because you have to get everything right. You know, your players have to be right, your back room's got to be right, your board has to be away from the team. They shouldn't be involved at all with anything during the World Cup. Their jobs have been done. If you look at most of the teams that haven't had great World Cups, there's been issues away from the team.
And the PCB releasing some strange statements in the media during the World Cup hasn't helped matters either. Chef Babar Azam, is he going to lose his chef's hat?
Well, look, it's Pakistan cricket, and I like Babar Azam. I think he's a wonderful player. I personally don't know how good a captain he is. I think he misses a few tricks, but he doesn't have a world-class spinner. You know, if he's got a world-class spinner, you say to any captain, or you say to a captain, oh, you're a really good captain, and I always go, yeah, well, he's got a good bowling attack. You know, and a good bowling attack is seamers and spinners. So, like, I can't think he'll survive. You know, I can't think. I think there'll be a complete wipeout. It generally happens in Pakistan cricket. I can't see Mickey Arthur surviving. I like Mickey, but I can't see him surviving. You know, there's whispers of Afridi coming in, not Shaheen Shah. He might be the captain, but Afridi's going to run the operation. Let's wait and see. But generally, unfortunately, you do see a bit of a clear out, and that starts with the coach and the captain.
Mickey Arthur not even on Zoom?
Well, that was a strange one, wasn't it? He could keep his position at Derby and be the director of cricket from Derby, running Pakistan. I'm a bit old school. I think if you're going to be the director of cricket of a national team, I think that's got to be your sole job.
A lot of people tend to read too much into Babar Azam's personality. They often say, you know, the captain has to exude a certain kind of aggression. All that aside, body language aside, some of his bowling decisions, there have been question marks on that as well. A, how do you rate Babar as a captain? And after losing a World Cup in this fashion, would it be justified to look at a change in leadership?
Look, tactically, Babar, you get that feeling that he's a little defensive when it comes to captaincy. There are moments in the game where you kind of let the game drift, and then it's very difficult to pull it back. He's already thinking about what's going to happen. Say if you're in the 15 overs, he'll be thinking about 42nd over. You at times need to move with the game, or maybe proactive. You know, take few chances, take few risks. It's not every day going to go your way, but that's something which he misses. So he's generally a defensive captain. Now, what happens if you are not scoring runs? Then that defensive nature becomes even more defensive. I think that's something which I've been highlighting right from the start of the World Cup, that a captain like that needs to be in form. You know, when you are in form, you are more confident. So your defensive decisions are just a tad bit delayed.
Yeah.
You know, you show that kind of authority. So I think Babar's authority comes with him scoring runs. When he's scoring runs, he's relaxed, he's comfortable, and then he's able to just transfer that energy to all his squad. Yeah. But when he's not scoring runs, it just becomes a bit of a pull down for the whole team, and that's what we've been seeing. And maybe that's the reason Pakistan will go in different direction after this World Cup.
The most important thing for Pakistan is Babar Azam to score runs. And if that means that he's not the captain, it helps him score more runs because of I can only imagine the pressure that you're under as a Pakistan captain when it's not going well. You know, you seem to get attacked from all quarters. Yep. And if that's affecting his batting, or it's not allowing him to go and get the hundreds of runs that we know he can, Pakistan, they need his runs. You know, if it is away from the captain. So I used to think when Joe Root was the England Test captain, I liked him as a leader. I thought he was a brilliant player, but sometimes the best player is not always necessarily the best captain.
Yeah.
You know, you sometimes think, well, the best player, just focus on getting as many runs as you possibly can, and that's going to help the team, and that's going to lead the team probably better for Pakistan than Babar Azam being the batter and the captain.
Would it be fair to draw a parallel between Pakistan of 2023 and England post-2015, the World Cup?
No, I think Pakistan they're a mercurial team, aren't they?
Well, in terms of where they are, in terms of the brand of cricket they are playing, or the kind of approach they have to their white ball cricket?
I never... Look, Pakistan, they've not made a 50-over final since '99, but I never think they're that far away. You know, I don't think they're that far away. They lost to England in the T20 World Cup final a year and a half ago. So they're not far away. They just have these chaotic moments. They have chaotic moments in their cricket. It just happens. Do I think that they could win the T20 World Cup in 6 months' time? Yes. I honestly do, because it's Pakistan and they could arrive in the Caribbean, in America. They need to find a spinner. They do need to find a world-class spinner, and I'm sure there is one in Pakistan, but, you never write Pakistan off. Never, ever write them off, because they've certainly got the talent. They've just got to find and I don't know how they find it, they've just got to find a bit of calmness around the camp and try and get everyone on board thinking as one, rather than it all looking a little bit... It's like a jigsaw, and they're just missing a few pieces, aren't they?
Yeah, play with the straight bat, whether you're a cricketer or a PCB chief. And they need to make sure they don't leak WhatsApp chats or call records or whatever that is. The words unpredictable, mercurial have been the most used words to describe Pakistan cricket since the time all of us started watching cricket. This kind of chaos, is it symbolic of the culture in Pakistan?
Well, you look at the Asia Cup, right? Like, you're talking about, are they going the England route, or is this what is going to be the defining moment for them to change the way they're approaching the game? You go to Asia Cup, they've been announcing the playing 11 a day prior to the match. Come World Cup, they've moved away from that. So I don't think they're going to plan that much in advance. I think even during the controversies which we're seeing during the World Cup right now, it got the best out of them. Those couple of games which they played after that, they looked like a different unit. So when their backs are against the wall, they're always ready to fight back. So that's why they're unpredictable. You can't really pinpoint that, okay, this is one formula which is going to work for them. I think what's important is that they need to be in that zone where they're fearless. I think when they don't have any option, that's when they're most dangerous. And that's always has been the case. If you look back in the history as well, when they don't have any chance, they know they got nothing to lose. They'll just go out there, express themselves freely, and they'll get out of tough situations like that. So whoever is there managing that show, they need to figure that formula for that team, because the standard formula which we've seen is never going to work.
Positives, if there are any. Abdullah Shafiq, maybe?
Yeah, he started all right. He slipped off towards the end. Fakhar Zaman with those two innings, particularly that 100 against New Zealand, that was, as I said, Glenn Maxwell obviously is the standout, but I'd have that second in terms of the best 100 in the tournament, just from nowhere to smash, what was it, 126 off 80-odd balls. I think it had 12 sixes. I don't think there's a great deal of positives. Wasim Jr., he bowled well towards the back end. They've just got it. Pakistan have always had talented bats, but I always think when Pakistan are winning, it's their bowling attack. It's their bowling attack that wins them games. They get 230 and suddenly they defend it because they're bowling. So sometimes it's their batting lets them down, but their bowling gets them out of trouble. And I'll keep saying it, they have to find a quality spinner. If they get a quality spinner, they'll be absolutely fine.
Surely you haven't heard the last on Pakistan at this World Cup. There will be so much more post-mortem that has happened already, and a lot more shall happen. England, meanwhile, finished at number 7 at the end of this World Cup. They came in as defending champions before the World Cup started. The word was that we're not here to defend, we're going to play attacking brand of cricket. But that's where they are at the end of 9 matches. Just the 3 wins, 6 losses. They finish below Afghanistan and below Pakistan at number 7. The only high point, though, or the only saving grace, is that they have gotten the qualification for the Champions Trophy. A lot of players that played in the 2019 World Cup came here as well. I think it's 8 or 9, if not more. Is this the end of that golden era? Yeah,
it is. They've been tremendous, and I'm glad they've played the way that they have today, because it's just a reminder. They're a good team. They've got some good players, but at the end of a World Cup, you've got another 4-year cycle to the next World Cup. The Champions Trophy was important. England had to make that Champions Trophy because when you reset, you want, when you're climbing the ladder, obviously the top of the ladder is a World Cup, but you just want that next step. And the next step for a younger team is the Champions Trophy to test themselves. So in 2 years' time, the England side will get tested in the Champions Trophy. And this is what Rob Key and his team will have to kind of think about over the next week or two, is which players is he going to take with him for the next 2 years? Which players are going to drop off? Because there will be players from this group that won't play for England 50 over cricket again, and rightfully, it's time to move on. But there'll be a few senior pros that they'll be thinking about, will they be there in 4 years? Possibly not, but it's worth them going for another 2 years, just trying to bring through the next generation. I don't think wiping everyone out and just starting afresh with a completely new set of players is the right thing to do. England have got so many young players that can play white ball cricket. There's Jamie Smith, Will Jacks, Ben Duckett, Rehan Ahmed. You got Phil Salt at the top of the order. So there's lots of players. Sam Haines, a really good player, solid in the middle, probably a number 4 who can just bat the innings. A bit older, but he's played a lot of cricket and he could come into the game. I guess the decisions will be, which of the senior players are they going to tap on the shoulder? No one retires anymore.
Let's bring up the squad graphic. Maybe you can talk to us about who you reckon makes it to the next World Cup.
Well, I just don't think any of them will retire. And why would you? Because you've got a contract. But, and also, when you retire, that's you done. And I guess you can get a text and like Ben Stokes and come back in. But, Josh Buttler, I'd hope he carries on as captain. And if it is that he just goes, look, I'll get you to the next trophy, which is the Champions Trophy, and see where I'm at then. Fantastic, that's fine with me. I don't look at Josh's captaincy and think, oh, he's someone that the players aren't playing for. We've seen tonight the players love playing for him. He's just had a rough time of it with the bat. Joe Root's a decision that they have to make. Is a Joe Root style player in the new age of 50 over cricket the right style at number 3? I want a more aggressor at number 3. I'd move Harry Brook to number 3. I think Harry Brook goes to number 3. Joe Root, if he stays, and that's questionable, I want a player who kind of just steadies the ship at number 4, and that could be Sam Hain or Joe Root. Ben Stokes, I think, will be gone. Josh Buttler should bat at 5. Josh Buttler should be a 5. And then you're looking at, Liam Livingston's a young chap. He's had a poor time of it, but he'll be in and around the team. Obviously, David Willey's gone. Sam Curran is a cricketer that I admire and like a lot. They have to work on him to try and get him back confident because he's going to be around the team. I don't think Moeen Ali is going to be there or thereabouts much longer. So Rehan Ahmed will come in for someone like Moeen Ali. England could do with a left-arm spinner. They've got a bit of off-spin. They've got obviously leg spin in Rehan and Adil Rashid. I think Adil has to carry on. He's certainly good enough to do so. Chris Woakes, again, a decision on Chris. Braden Carter's a cricket that England need to buy a lot of time into. He's an all-round that I reckon could end up batting at 7. He bowls pretty quickly, whacks it out the ground. As I said, I'm not retiring any of them unless they retire themselves, because in 2 years' time at a Champions Trophy, you just don't know. If you get a load of injuries, you want a bit of experience and people that have been there and done it, why not just call 1 or 2 back if you need them? But I think it is time just to kind of... Sir Alex Ferguson was a master at Manchester United. He used to know when to get rid of people. And that is now the case with England and the white ball team. They have to know when to get rid of them and do it in a fair and proper manner and bring a new generation through.
Zach, in life and in cricket, good not to press the panic button after a disappointing loss? Maybe wait it out, take their time before they make wholesale changes?
No, you definitely don't have to press the panic button, but that doesn't mean you don't analyze and see what should be the path forward for them. And you need to first figure out what kind of template you want. I think this World Cup, if you see when you're looking at Indian team, the kind of impact they had with their bowling unit, you're looking at Australia, you're looking at South Africa, they have these bowlers who are actually making the play. So in a T20 game, you can get away with being defensive, but in a 50-over game, you need those resources who, if need be, are going to be your aggressive, where you are making the play with the ball in hand. And I think that's something which England needs to take note of. In 2015, they took the note with regard to batting, which they were lagging behind, where teams are scoring 275, they were looking to score 240, and that was the difference. And they made that conscious decision that, okay, you need to go higher than that. But in the process, they've just gone a little too far when they've stopped giving importance to those bowlers who can make the play with wicket-taking ability. So I think they need to go back, set a template in that way where they're striking that good balance of having maybe 2 or 3 bowlers who can be aggressive on the day or have those options in the squad. If you want to make a tactical play against a particular team with strong batting lineup, you can actually put your best resources there who can be looking to take wickets. So that's where 50-over cricket, I think, is heading. Watching this World Cup is giving you a good feeling of that, where teams who had the balance in aggression with the bat, some anchor role players. You've seen it with many teams, and with the ball, the bowling unit, the team which had a proper firepower in their bowling unit. They've been controlling and dominating this tournament.
The simple fact is, if England had batted first against South Africa, like they should have done, and if they'd have batted first against Afghanistan, like they should have done, If you look at the times that England have batted first against Bangladesh, over 300, against the Netherlands, over 300, tonight, over 300. If they'd have batted first on those two occasions,
Yeah.
I guarantee that they got over 300, and you'd have to say that they won those two games. So, yes, it's all right us talking about formations and difference and resetting, but that's tactics, and that's getting decisions wrong at the toss. If they'd have got those two decisions right, we might have been talking about England getting in the semi-finals.
Is it, at this point, now when they look back, is it going to be more about re-looking at the resources, players available, or does England look to upgrade their software? If yes, what is Baseball 2.0?
Be more aggressive. You know, the game's not going to go from more sixes this time to less sixes in 2027. So you've got to get more players in your team that can whack it. Simple as that. Strike rates aren't going to go down. Strike rates are going to go up.
Yep.
Batting depths are going to get probably longer. But I do think you need world-class bowlers. You know, you can have a brilliant batting lineup that can smack it out of the park, but you need quality in your bowling part. Bowlers win the tournaments. Batters win your games, and you know that is the blueprint. In 2019, when England won the World Cup, they had a ball that moved a bit in English conditions. Works was exceptional. Plunkett did a job in the middle, and obviously the spin twins were on fire around that time. So, I think England have to go ultra aggressive with the bat. Pick players that with muscle can launch it 360. Think about 350s as your par now, and try and get 370s. That's the game. Hit sixes. Pretty simple.
Zach, for you, Butler, the captain, does he have more to offer as leader?
I don't like when the leader is taking a back seat. Like leader should be leading from the front. And I think when the team was not coming through with the bat, maybe he should have taken that responsibility and changing the template halfway. That pivot which we often speak about in a tournament like World Cup, just go out there. Just go in top three. Make space for yourself. Lead from the front, saying that okay, if no one is doing it, I'm the captain. I'm going to make things happen. That kind of approach maybe would have created that spark in that unit. But Joss is a top class player. There's no doubt about that. It's been a tough tournament for him, for the whole team. As a team, and decision making was something which was questionable. I think that clarity in decision making was not there. Joss, the player, Joss, the guy in the dressing room, and with regard to communicating with the boys, I'm sure is right up there.
And you wouldn't want to write off England. Surely they will bounce back, especially in white ball cricket. The Test team is doing very well as well. So it'll be interesting to see what England do at the end of their post-mortem of this disappointing World Cup campaign. One more league game to go before the knockouts. It is number 1 versus number 10. It's India versus the Netherlands, not New Zealand. New Zealand is much later. It's India versus Netherlands. That's match number 45, the last league game that will be played at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in the beauteous Bengaluru. Now, as part of my prep, I was reading this match preview that Kaushik Rangarajan has written on Cricbuzz. You must check it out, by the way. And he's referred to the Indian team as a snazzy, hyper-engineered German car with all its parts whirring in total sync. What a beautiful way to describe Team India.
Oh, a nice Mercedes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, they're the best team by a mile. They have got everything covered. They've got the batters, they've got the seamers, they've got the spinners, fielding well. There's nothing that team doesn't have. So I fear for the Netherlands tomorrow. I saw them against England and they tried, but they just look like, it's a long tournament and the Netherlands have been great. And I said it a few weeks ago. When we look back at this World Cup and look back at all the results, that result, Netherlands beating South Africa, I think we'll go, how? How did that happen?
Yeah.
So they've been fantastic. I just feel, and I saw them, as I said, against England, they just look like it was a game too far, and I feel tomorrow might be a game too far. The Indian team will blow them away quite easily, but it's a great opportunity and it's a great experience for them to be playing against India. The crowd will be electric, it'll be jam-packed. And these players, for the Netherlands, won't have ever experienced, I don't think. Roly van der Merwe has played in the IPL. He's played in I think he played in the final in 2009, but I think it was in South Africa.
Yeah.
So he's played in some big games, but you kind of look at the Netherlands and think, just enjoy it. Go out and have a bit of fun. Try and take on India. Try and challenge that opening burst from Bumrah and Siraj if they both play. But just have some fun. But I think it could be a long afternoon for the Netherlands.
Now, Zach, conventional wisdom says don't change what's working. Everything's working well for India. Even after Hardik Pandya exited the World Cup, they figured a certain combination that's worked for them. 8 wins in a row at this World Cup, unbeaten, top of the table. You saw what Australia did in their last game. They rested Maxwell and Mitchell Starc. Does India not change anything, or do they look at resting 1 or 2 players?
But they had a longish break before the last
break,
game
yeah.
and this one. So I don't think they should look to do that. Sometimes you get overconscious, you get overcautious rather, that oh, you've not lost a game in this league phase. You've been dominating. Now, let's just figure things out. Maybe give rest to few people. I'm not of that opinion. I think you've had enough break. You just have to take some time off from the game. That's important, but which you already got in this week. It's a Diwali day, so there's going to be a lot of firecrackers tomorrow there for sure on the ground as well, and that's how you should look at it. So you spending time with the family, celebrating Diwali. All of them, I'm sure, must be together in that team hotel celebrating Diwali with families. So it's a happy occasion, and you should just go out there. Put your best playing 11 there, get them, keep them in that zone, keep them in that habit of dominating this league phase, finish the league phase on high and come to Mumbai.
6 + 5 works for you? 5 bowlers?
Yeah, I'm with Zach. I wouldn't change the team. I mean, they've had a few days off. I think it's important that the bowlers get another 7, 8, 9 overs into their legs. Just keep playing the way they are. I mean, just try and blow the Netherlands. I think that the best way is to blow them away quickly. Try and get the Netherlands in, blow them away, knock them off quickly, and have a Diwali party before the semi. That's pretty much the plan, isn't it? I mean, I can't think by resting 2 or 3 players that means a player would have gone about 9 days.
Yeah.
I think they've just got to play the best team.
Right, for Netherlands though, their opening combination hasn't worked at all. Max O'Dowd, Wesley Baresi, Vikramjit Singh, the 3 openers. And against a Bumrah, Siraj, Shami kind of attack, you need your openers to give you runs. Clearly, the heart of that batting lineup is Cyber Engelbrecht as well. Are there any changes that you recommend? Maybe Vikramjit Singh in for Max O'Dowd. It hasn't worked at all, or do you say no? Let's just go with what we.
I don't think they'll be making too many changes in the playing 11. I think what I would like to see from them is that approach, which has been very fearless. You see them facing different bowlers, and they've not been shying away from the challenge. If they continue with that kind of approach, I like overall whatever communication which was going to the media also from the Netherlands camp.
Yes.
They've been talking about qualifying for the semis. They've been talking about having that belief of making that impact, and they did. They've beaten South Africa. So I'm sure all the teams have taken note of that. Indian team also. The chatter in that dressing room is going to be, look, we've been having a great run in this tournament so far, but you can't take this team lightly.
Yep.
And if they're saying that, that's a great moral victory for Netherlands for sure. It's just about going out there and continuing with the approach which they've shown in the tournament.
It's the biggest stage, playing India in a World Cup game, and while it is a team sport, younger players in that Netherlands lineup would be justified in saying to themselves, hang on, a lot of talent scouts from various T20 leagues will be watching.
Yeah, and Basta Leader is a good all-rounder.
Yep.
I think he's a real talented seam bowler. I think he's skillful and also can bat. I'll be very interested to see if Ian Dutt opens the ball into Rowett. I'll be very interested because the off-spin has been great in that first over at Bangalore off-spin to Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill. Not too sure that's the right matchup, but they've just got to enjoy it. It's a great day for them. Look, they've got very little chance of beating India, but can they just have a moment? Can they have a 10-over period with a partnership, or just get 2 or 3 wickets and just get a buzz of the day? As I said, they are very collective. They've got a little group of supporters. When I was at Pune watching them again, they've got a good little group of supporters that make plenty of noise. Whether you'll hear them tomorrow in Bangalore with all the Indian supporters, I'm not too sure, but they've had a great time of it, and they should go out with a smile on their face and just have a real good pop at India tomorrow.
There are 2 things that crowd in Bangalore wants. Number 1, top priority is to see India win and win big. And number 2 is number 50. Is it happening? I'm not going to ask Zach. I'm not going to put him on the hot seat.
I think
tell me.
If India bat first, yes, I think it will. If India bat second,
It's going to be yes and yes because he's the chase master.
Well, he won't.
That's if they have so many.
They won't be chasing. They won't be chasing
Exactly,
enough.
Manish.
That's why he won't be chasing enough. If he bats first, yeah, I think it probably will happen.
Maybe number 50 is loading for the chase master Virat Kohli. But before we wrap up, players to watch out for, one each.
Well, since you've mentioned 50-50, 50 hundreds, then let's go with Virat.
Okay,
for
then.
India, yeah.
Netherlands?
For Netherlands, I think Bas de Leede. He's been having a good run. He's been very consistent. So good all-rounder. Got chances with the bat and ball both.
I'm going to go Maxi O'Dowd. I just like his hair. You know that. So I'll go with the opener. I'll go Shubman. I think Shubman will get a big one tomorrow.
Wow, it should be a fun Diwali outing. I've just been told that Bas de Leede's father got Sachin Tendulkar out in 2003 and got his autograph on the ball. The son will hope to do that against the modern master Virat Kohli, but we'll see if the Netherlands can come up with a solid show against a very, very confident Indian lineup. Time now for Joy Factor. Let's bring up the question once again and to see what it was. Which World Cup coach and player both have an ODI batting average of over 50 with the coach just one position behind the player? I know that my experts have not been able to crack it, so I won't go to them. We will instead directly show you the answer to this Joy Factor question. Ibrahim Zadran and Jonathan Trott. Well done. Zadran seems to be the flavour of this Joy Factor season. Who is the winner on this Saturday night? Let's bring it up. Sujaishil Gaikwad at Sujaishil G. Well done. And since Joy isn't here, I'm going to request Zaheer Khan and Michael Vaughan for a double thumbs up since it's Diwali.
I always give him out.
Huh?
He asked me for a thumbs up. I give him out. I ask him, do you know what this is?
Out.
This is
that's
Once a bowler, always a bowler. We are done for the day. Good luck to India. Good luck to Netherlands. May it be a fun last league game of the World Cup before we get into the knockouts, the exciting knockouts. That's it for now on Cricbuzz Live. Make sure you join Saimik here in this chair at 1:30 p.m. for India versus Netherlands. And the amazing Gaurav Kapoor will be on Cricbuzz Live Hindi. I'm going to sit back and watch India from home. Good night and sweet dreams.